Hey folks, it's Ben here today to shoot a video. Not on this one. This was the last trash pick of the 4. This is actually number 5. I wanted it for the mower deck because it has a metal discharge chute. The Tecumseh engine, it's just like my Craftsman mower, but anyway, it's cute, but it's home now, so we'll work on it later. The video I'm shooting today, which the card will match hopefully, is the tiller. The Honda, I'm pretty confident about, and that mower I don't even have parts for, even if I do get it going. The tiller has hope right now, so let's pull that into the Quonset and see if we can get it to run. I'm not sure where I left off on the intro video, what I'd actually looked at on this tractor outside. I think it actually did turn over. It has a throttle cable, really wide handlebars, by the way. That's kind of hardcore stuff. I think it did have oil, but I can't remember, so let's check it again. I did level the machine, and it's full of surprisingly clean oil. That's interesting. So somebody was taking care of it, and then something happened, and they gave up on it, is my guess. So that's interesting. We've got a cool bolus carburetor seen on a lot of mowers, which is convenient for me, although it's a different design than most lawnmowers because it goes all the way over to the flathead. And then it looks like she's an oil burner, honestly, by the Aldi grossness here. Let's see if it's got any fuel in the tank. These are not that hard to take apart, and I do have spare gaskets and things. Whew, the rest is not good news. There's a little bit, but let's go ahead and put some fresher stuff in there. Okay, so we've checked for oil, check. I put about a quarter liter, so that's what, 1/8 of a gallon in it, with a high concentration of sea foam, so got that going for us now. I'm going to tripod the camera. We'll pull on it a bunch, but after that we'll see if it's got any spark, if it doesn't start from pulling on it a bunch. So closer inspection reveals that this is actually frozen, which is the choke, right? And then we do have this little pulse type diaphragm in here as kind of a fuel pumpish type of thing for the engine eventually. So there could be a whole variety of awesomeness in here. But I'm going to take the air filter off so I can use my hand to act as a choke because the current one is plugged. Of course, what that reveals is that while this arm seems free, this throttle plate is also corroded. So that's not good news for the carburetor because I mean a lot of stuff in here is kind of gross. So I'm guessing we failed to operate on the basis of not being able to more or less run the throttle proper anymore, or it just stopped working and then they stopped caring for it and then it got bunged up. This is the mechanism the governor operates, and this is the counter spring to balance where the throttle is along with the throttle, which if I move it, it moves, but of course it has no effect on the throttle here. So I'm going to work with this a little bit and I'll be right back. Well, that's it for the open position. With that in the choke, we can certainly pull on it and see if we can get anything else to run out of it. It does have an easy off, so if it does actually start, it might want to start running away on us. In that case, we can shut it down and then adjust the throttle that way, but at least we get a proof of operation. So if this exhaust gets hot, it's also going to start smoking pretty good, so that'll be fun. All right, let's open the choke, or I should say close the choke, whatever. Let's operate the choke and pull on it 100 times or so and see if we can get anything going. Hopefully this is a piece of crap and we can just change it and we'll get our spark back. Let's see if the camera focuses. Oh. Woo, covered in gas. And the gap is currently covered in gas as well. So let's clean this off. And but it's in good shape actually. It's not carbon or anything bad. So looks like it's been, if anything, running hot. So let's put the let's clean this up and then see what's wrong with the spark. I got a different plug too. It should work though. Put it in this rusty and it kind of snaps in. shorter, so the turn off won't naturally turn it off. But it's clean, which is the important part, enough to allow us to see if it's making a spark and it's not flooded out. So there's that too. Find out what's going on with that in just a second, but try if I can block it out and crank it over, see if we can get any spark out of this thing. Yep, it's making spark. As it shocks the peep out of my finger there. It's harder to set these on stuff when they're like this. Yeah, ow. It's sparking okay, so let's put this plug in and try again. Well, all I can smell is really bad gas, so I think we'll take the time and drop the tank, dump it, look underneath, spray it some carb cleaner, put it back together again, try again, because it's getting gas, but it's really bad smelling like it's crap, so let's try that. And of course, the tiller is too low or too high to drop the entire tank, so I'm gonna just undo the screws off the head and we will take the whole carb off, at least enough to move it out of the way to get the tank out. Okay, so taking the carb off, there's a small screw and a long screw on the top, obviously because it's longer here. And to get the tank off, it was just 3 screws here, here, and here. The throttle mechanism attached here, and the spring attached here. Just an FYI for myself later down the road, okay? All right, so now we should be able to, since the tank is free, lift this out without breaking anything, and wow, is it bad. Guessing there was water in the tank at some point, because these pickups are gross. So, those are nasty little guys. We dropped the fuel tank screw and they're full of crap. So we'll wash all this out and we'll get every mechanism free before we stick it back on the machine. So let's set this aside. So now we have our tank. That gasket is going to stay there. We have our fuel tank, which now is full of 1/8 of a gallon of fuel, which is going to be gross. If you're smart, Ben, you'll shoot this to camera. So we put fresh in there. There was some nasty stuff in there. Let's pour it out. Yeah, I was a fool for trying to get my way out of this. Gross. Find some tractor I don't like to burn this off in because yuck. So that's a problem. So let's wipe all this off and get the carb cleaner and squirt this tank clear because there is some rust in here. If I had another parts tractor with a better tank, okay, so we've got everything reassembled again. The throttle pin from the, I guess the fan governor here to the air plate. Throttle from the cable, of course, to here, and also the fan governor, speed control, and the choke still there. Gave it about half a tank of fresh gas again, with seafoam in it again. So everything's been washed out. We're gonna pull the choke on it. Ew, it's still a little stiff. This might actually operate, but I didn't record where this was on the machine, so it's going to be out of tune. But I'm putting on my earmuffs because I have faith it'll start. Oh, the spring's off. Okay, that disconnected, so that's not helping. But okay, so we're not getting a start out of it. So we're gonna revisit the spark issue, I think, because that's next, right? I don't smell gas, so that's not good, but that's all right either too. So till next time, I'm running out of light and time, so no go on this one yet, but like all my part 2 videos, I'm sure we'll get down to the nitty gritty of it once we think about it over the evening. So if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, love them to hear them, put them in the comments. Otherwise, you guys have a good day. Oh, subscribe to my channel, Turbo231, and also my other channel, Redbird Homestead, for less tractory stuff if you're into that thing. Okay, thanks, bye.